Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Collaborative U, and we are absolutely excited about this morning, guys. Oh my gosh, yes! I have the one, the only, the networking queen in the virtual building. Woo! Toni Harris Taylor. Welcome to the Collaborative UTV.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Girl, it has been so long since we connected, and I'm so excited that we get this opportunity to have a conversation. Can you hear me okay?
I can absolutely hear you perfectly. Thank you so much. We are just, anytime there's technology issues, I always know that that means what's about to go forth is going to be amazing. So I just embrace it. I mean, it is what it is. Yes,
It is what
indeed.
it is, right?
Yes.
We can't
So
help it.
you can't. It's nothing you can do about it. So our topic today is the power of networking. And I mean, does your network really determine your net worth? And with you being, I mean, who else to discuss a topic like this than the networking queen? Tell me, okay, first of all, how did you get that nickname? Oh, and it's not even a nickname anymore. Like you done trademarked it. You serious about
Right,
that?
right. It is my moniker. And other people gave it to me because they kept saying, I see you everywhere. I see you. You not only are you local, but you're on national things, international things. How did you get there? And the answer is always, always, always networking. And
Yeah.
even my husband, which hopefully I'll have time to tell the story, how I find my husband using the strategies that I teach. I'm getting ready to raise my desk because I want to stand up for this conversation. So I love networking. It's changed my life, changed my business, and I want to teach other entrepreneurs the power of networking to grow their business, to find their husband, to find your daughter's husband, to get referrals. My son just left an interview from someone in my network.
Wow.
So yeah, I can't wait to share all of those.
Well,
But that's how I came up with the brand because it's who I am.
and that's an important thing, because a lot of times we're wondering, like, okay, who are we really in this earth realm? What is our purpose? And really, if we take the clues from the people around us, they'll show us who we are, because they come to us for certain things. So I totally identify with what you're saying. And honestly, when I met you, it was at a networking event. I mean, and it was so long ago. The only thing I can remember is where it was, and it was somewhere off of Westheimer and the Beltway. That's the only thing I remember. But I remember you working that room in such a way that someone like me, new to that level of confidence as a Black woman. I mean, and it wasn't a room of Black people. It was a room that was very diverse, and it was more of them. And when I say them, I mean everybody else than it was us. Absolutely. And the way that you took charge of that room, and you just I mean, and I've watched you through the years. I mean, that's the power of the internet, because you still get to stay connected with people, and I just see your progression. So I get it. Now you said something, and I'm gonna go ahead and tap into it because I'm single. Okay, you said that you wanted to tell the story of how you use the power of networking to meet your husband. Go on, help us out. Help the single people out. Help us.
Okay, so I'm getting feedback, so I want to change my audio.
Okay.
Hopefully, okay. So everybody, because I want y'all to hear every morsel of this story. Okay,
Absolutely.
I think we're still good.
Okay.
So, and you're gonna get lots of nuggets. So I hope if you're listening, you have something to write with. There, you got your pen and paper ready.
I'm taking notes on my
I'm
phone. I'm
sorry,
like,
I forget myself. What am I saying? Do you have your phone ready to take some notes? Okay.
right.
So the first key to success with networking is you got to show up. You got to show up when you don't feel like it, when you don't know who's there, when you don't know if anything is going to come from it. You got to show up. And not only do you have to show up, you got to be up. You got to have your energy. You got to look the part. You got to be attractive to people, right? And so many people, if they show up, which a lot of people talk themselves out of showing up. Oh, I got to keep my grandkids. I got to watch TV, the laundry, whatever. Forget all that. You got to show up. Then when you show up, put on appropriate clothing, put on a smile, comb your hair, and be attractive so that people will want to get to know who you are.
Wow.
Right?
Right.
So I know you probably remember this, but in 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago now, I had was severely ill. I almost died. I was in a coma for 10 days and
Wow.
out of work for 5 months.
Wow.
So I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses as well. So I went to a party, and it was my first time showing up after this major illness. And I didn't really feel like it, but I put my hair on. You know what we do, sisters. I
Right.
had the right hair. I put my hair on. I put my face on. I put my energy on and I showed up.
Wow.
So when I got there, so that's another tip right there, right? So
Right.
whenever you don't feel like it, show up anyway. So there were some young men holding up the wall, as they do, and one of them I knew. So I went over and I said hello, another drastic step. So the other thing is, I talk about being drastic, getting out of your comfort zone. Nobody's successful inside their comfort zone.
Right.
And if you want everybody to come to you and you want business to just flow to you, forget about it. Not happening unless you sell cute little apparel or jewelry. You still got to go show up and set up.
Right.
So anyway, the young men were lining the walls. So I went and struck up a conversation. There was one young man I didn't know, but we struck up a conversation, which same what you would do at a business networking event. And he said, "Oh, I'm looking for a wife." Okay. I
Oh.
said, "Well, you're too young for me." He said, "Not you, you." He said, "I was just, because we want to marry within our faith." So he's like, "I just wanted to know if you might know somebody I could meet." Step number two, tell people what you're looking for
Oh,
because you know. Tip number two, tell people what you're looking for. By the way, I'm going to lose count on these tips, so just write them
that's all right.
down.
I'll keep up. I'll keep up.
Okay, thank you. So anyway, he says, "I'm looking for a wife." I said, "Well, my daughter and her friends, there might be somebody there for you. Why don't we plan a game night?" He said, "Okay." So I said, "Tip number three, are you on Facebook?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Let's connect." So we connected on Facebook on the spot. Some people are still like, "I don't do social media. How did you and I stay connected all these years?" Facebook,
Social media. Yep.
social media. But I still have people who come to me and they want to know why their business isn't growing and they're not showing up, which, by the way, social media is another form of show up.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
another form of be up, right? And
Right.
it's another form of follow up, because my whole saying is show up, be up, follow up to blow up. So watch this. So I connect with so I connect with that young man on Facebook, got his phone number, took his business card, and I followed through on what I said I would do. So I scheduled the game night 3 weeks later. He came. He didn't see anybody he was interested in, which, by the way, 3 marriages came out of that game night. There was only 20 people there.
Wow. Okay, sidebar. You gonna have to throw another game night for the singles.
Because I'm a connector. That's in my DNA. So when I hear a person has a need and they need to meet somebody, I do what I have to do to help people connect. So you and I will do a drink and you tell me what you're looking for, and then
Work it out. Work it out. Yeah.
so back to the story. So he came to the game night. He didn't see anybody he was interested in. So we had a sidebar. They were in the family room. We went to the dining room and we had a networking date. That's what I call a date. So he and I sat across the table, had a little soft drink, and talked about what he was looking for in a wife. He
Wow.
asked me. At this time, I'm a widow. I'm actually a two-time widow. Now I will say I'm a black widow, not the black widow. I promise. I don't have no husband. So at this point, I've been a widow for 2.5, 3 years, and he's like, "Are you looking to get married?" And I was like, And he said, "Well, what would you be looking for?" So we're exchanging information. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? and we're just getting to know each other.
Right.
Okay. Same thing with networking for business. Nobody's going to buy your product. They're not going to, unless you are vending a product, a purse or some earrings. People aren't going to buy your service on the spot. They have to know you, like you, and trust you. And the only way you can make that happen is to have a date, coffee, lunch, and now it's a Zoom call.
Right.
So he and I exchanged, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? And then he left, and I never saw him again, except on Facebook, just
Wow.
like I see you.
Right.
And when I see him on Facebook, I'd comment on his stuff. He'd comment on my stuff. 6 months later, he posts that he got engaged.
Oh,
I said,
wow.
oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm happy you got engaged. You found somebody perfect. So I sent him a private message, and I use a little Bitmoji cartoon, which makes me stand out in my posts. And
Okay.
people are like, so that Bitmoji, that little cartoon has made me thousands of dollars because
Wow.
I'm very strategic with standing out, which is drastic, but I stand out. So anyway, I commented, sent him a private message. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You found the one. And, we had that exchange. Pause right there. So Gary, who's now my husband, but at that time I didn't even know Gary. Gary wanted nothing to do with Facebook. His sister took his phone, opened him an account, handed him his phone back, and said, now you're on Facebook. You need to connect with people. He didn't want to, but he said, you put me on there. I'm going to go ahead and start connecting. He's connected to the girl in the relationship.
Oh.
So when he sees the pictures, he calls the girl and says, he talks about himself in the third person. Everybody's finding somebody but GT. The girl turns to my friend and says, who do you know? And because he keeps seeing me in social media, being a month later, I get a message. Hey, are you interested in meeting someone? I said, one question. Does he have school-age children? Because if he does, no. He asked her, he said, hold on a minute. He asked her, no, his kids are grown. I said, sure, I'm always open for an introduction. And the rest is history. So I say my husband was one of the best referrals from following the strategies I teach my business owners in order to connect with one another. Had we
Wow.
not stayed connected on Facebook, he wouldn't have remembered me because I never saw him again. But because he saw me active on Facebook, changing my profile, putting up pictures, showing me doing what I do, when he got the question, who do you know? Ding, 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 ding. So,
Wow. Okay. Okay. Now, it's amazing how that story really, like you said, is a foundation for the process of becoming an excellent networker. Because you pointed out some really key things. A lot of times, when the person that we meet doesn't serve us in that moment, we kind of just let them go. But yeah, but what you just showed was nurturing that relationship in a very authentic and easy way, which is to just, every now and then pop in, whatever, literally landed you one of your best gifts. Like, oh my, like whoever's listening to this, like, are you hearing what she's putting out?
I couldn't have scripted that. I mean, it's everything I teach my entrepreneurs to grow their business. I could not have scripted that. In my life, I see God's hand in my life all the time. And that's one of them where it's like, this is what I teach. And it landed me, my king. Are you kidding me? Come on now. So if it can
Wow.
land that, why can't it land the next deal for you? Why can't it land the next partner for you, the next collaborative partnership? I'm doing a conference at the end of this month, or now we're in October. So October 23rd and 24th. Yes, y'all put it in the chat there. Conference, Unstoppable Drastic Action. I'm partnered, collaborating with my twin in business. She's a sales and marketing networking guru like I am. She teaches unstoppable networking. I teach drastic action. And we came together to form the Unstoppable Drastic Action Conference. I met her in 2012 at a networking conference in Dallas. She lived in El Paso. I live in Houston. We both showed up to Dallas, stayed friends, stayed connected, and now we're sharing the same stage, sharing clients, sharing money. And for me, collaborating is everything. So,
Absolutely. And that word this year, okay, so the platform, the collaborative UTV is a part of a God idea that he gave me in 2019, the collaborative U. And me and my partner, Michelle, shout out Michelle, hey girl, um, we really felt like when this plandemic, because it's a plandemic. When this plandemic hit, then it was released again. You know what? Collaboration is where it's at. And this is my question to you now, because we're both Black women, and so we can speak from this perspective. One of the things that I believe is one of our biggest hindrances to get to that next level is not recognizing the importance of the collaboration. What can you say to help those who don't necessarily recognize the true value of it? What can you say to them, outside of you can find your man? I mean, but other than that, like, what can you say to them to help them get past that barrier that seems to be there, that invisible barrier?
and so it's not so invisible because it shows up in every area of your life. It's
Mm,
about being abundant, having an abundance mentality, not a scarcity mentality, that there is enough in the world, in the universe, for all of us to play. And if you play together, there's power in numbers. But we deal with people, our society has taught us to be competitive. They've not taught us to be collaborative. They've taught us, if you do, like my girlfriend Tish, she does the exact same thing I do. She teaches entrepreneurs sales and marketing strategies to grow their business. When I bought my franchise a year ago, NIA, I called her. I'm like, let's do this together. And we are both winning at everything. But I have an abundance mentality. So I'm all about, let you do it, I do it, let's help each other, we all win.
right.
And what I tell people, work on your mindset, work on having an abundance mindset. There's enough out here for all of us. And when two or three play together, you got a crew, she got a crew, she got a crew, we all bring our crew, everybody wins. And it also, it's not about just me. My clients know my they need to hear the same thing from somebody else. Like, oh, just like your kids, right? They get real like, oh, so and so told me that, and you've been saying it the whole time. You just want to smack them. But
I know, for
so,
sure.
and
My daughter does that to me.
technology, I see our technology's gyrating.
I know, but I can hear you now. You've come back. Go ahead. You're absolutely right. Let me just say that you're absolutely right. An abundance mentality, I didn't really think about it that way. But I guess that is the thing that kind of holds us back. And guys, as you see, our technology is cutting up, but we are going to pick right on back up, right where we're at in just a second. So, for those of you who are just joined us, I am speaking with the networking queen. Oh, there she is. She's back.
I apologize. There's nothing
Oh
I can do
no.
about that.
It's nothing to
Sorry.
apologize for. Let me tell you, you dropping so many golden nuggets in here. If you take a second to slip off into the land of and come back, we sitting right here talking about, oh, she coming back. She coming
I'm coming back because
back.
y'all know you touch my passion. And the other thing is so many entrepreneurs miss the boat, and when it comes to networking, they are networking for self. I'm always networking for others. What Zig Ziglar say? Help as many people get what they want and you will get what you want. That's the
What you want.
mantra. And so when I'm networking, I'm often listening for somebody I can introduce to my clients. And yes, I will pick up clients too, but I'm always, oh, I know somebody you need to meet. I got to connect you to this person. And anybody that's listening, if you're that person already, then you need to contact me about Network in Action, because Network in Action has changed my life.
So let's talk about pivoting to now, previously networking was really a lot of face to face, right? You went to events, you guys talked, you passed up, but now networking is really shifting more so to the online platform, right? To virtual networking. What are some of the for those who aren't, they're a little reluctant to do this online thing, but it's necessary now. What's your voice to them? Like, what are some of the things that you can say to them to help them understand how to pivot from the in-person networking to now a social media focused networking?
We need to see the blessing in all things. And the blessing in pandemic, I love the pandemic, but the blessing in the pandemic, especially for those of you whose business is global. Like I'm a coach. I can coach people from anywhere because I can use Zoom to do that. So the biggest blessing has been I can go to national and international events without leaving my office or my home. And if you want to grow national, you've got to go national.
Yep.
And it used to cost me $2,000 just to show up to an event that was a national event because I knew I was growing national and international. Now it costs me the price of the ticket, but I do it right here at home. The downside is I don't get to get as cute as I used to, but
Right.
I I love the pivot to Zoom. Now, let's talk about that. I've been using virtual networking before it was popular. I've had a Zoom account since 2014. Hallelujah. I bought Zoom stock March 17th.
Very
I'm
smart.
so excited. Very smart. So I have a link, zoomwithtoni.com. So I've been doing this a long time. But NIA, Network in Action, is an in-person business model. So we all had to pivot to being virtual.
Yeah.
Now, my clients love virtual so much, I'm having a hard time getting them back to live, getting them back to in person. I have
Yeah.
clients, and my networking is not the cheapest. But I have clients I've never met in person, but they still invest and pay. And even though it's virtual, the relationships are still being had. So here's what I'd say: see it as a blessing. It allows you to show up nationally, internationally, expand your network, and social media keeps me connected to all my connections around the world. My
So,
conference is going to be international too, so I definitely would love for folks to come.
and you're gonna have to give us the website to that at towards the end of our show. I have a
Sure.
okay, so I have another question for you because in the topic, the power of networking, okay, we've touched the power of networking, but let's talk about how our network really influences our net worth. You know, how give us a real vivid picture of how that network really translates into your net worth.
So, number one, remember I said the word drastic. You got to get out of your comfort zone. And a lot of times we network where we're comfortable, but that's not where our clients are. It's not where the money is. We just show up there because we know we have a foot in the door. It's all black, it's all women, and but those aren't our customers.
Right.
Up level your network in order to play a bigger game. And
Mm,
so I do a lot of coaching with financial professionals, insurance agents, and no, please, nobody get offended. But if you do, then it must be pricking you. So, and a lot of my clients are African American, and they want to sell life insurance and investments to single moms because they're a single mom, and that's fine. Except single moms ain't got a lot of money to put away. You want to be where the executives are, the CEOs are. So knowing your target market, up leveling your target market, and networking where they are translates to a better net worth. And I had to learn that myself because we all start where we're comfortable, but you got to quickly get out of your comfort zone. Otherwise, you'll be spinning your wheels and frustrated and saying networking doesn't work. And it's because you're not in the right places.
okay, and I can respect that because you said something. You said our comfort zones, and many of us um, we can't see we can't even see who our ideal client is because we can't take off our own glasses. You know, we have our we're operating our business through our own personal vision, so if you never drove a new car, then you can't see that. If you never and it really brings me to a place when I started in travel, working for a travel agency, and I was put in the tour division, which is a high ticket item. And in the very beginning, I could not understand how to tell somebody that it was going to be $10,000, because in my mind, I knew that I didn't have $10,000 on the spot, right? But he said, don't forget something. They called you. That's number one. And number two, that's what they want. They're going to pay for what they want. So from what I'm hearing you say is we literally have to get out of our own mindset of lack and our own mindset of what we can afford and reach out to the client that's best suited for us. I mean, is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and building a network with the centers of influence in the middle of that thing is that makes it so much easier to get into those networks that are not your comfort zone. So absolutely, you got it. And it's drastic. It's uncomfortable at first. And that's why learning how to build relationships. Notice I said learning is not
Right.
automatic. There was a time I didn't know how to network. I actually, back in 2005, hired a coach, paid her $6,000 to teach me how to network. And it changed my life. Changed my life. And I'd pay her annually if I had to. So now I have the pleasure of teaching my clients the exact same thing. And yes, you got to invest in yourself. So yes, you got to hire a coach to teach you how to do it right. Otherwise, you're going to be frustrated, spinning your wheels. So get somebody who can help you. Been there, done that. Then you also have to invest in yourself by buying a ticket to the event. So many entrepreneurs want the free route. Free, 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 free. I can get that for free. You know what? If you can get it for free, you're never going to be able to sell. Here's another tip.
Ooh.
You're never going to be able to sell what you've never invested in yourself. Period. The reason I keep hiring a coach, and I am a coach and I got a coach, and I hired a coach recently for $8,500. I had to go sell something to make the money. So it wasn't like the money was just sitting there.
Right.
But now I can charge $8,500 because I know what it takes to get there. Right? So
Right.
if you are free, 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 you're never going to be able to sell, period. You have to invest so you can bring your confidence up to be able to ask because you know what it took for you to be able to invest at a certain level. So I'm sorry, I'm preaching.
No, no,
I'm
no.
preaching.
That was really, no, that was powerful because you're absolutely right, and this is a good place to pivot in the conversation to business owners who will listen to this or people who want to go into business. One of the things that um, in this climate that I'm noticing is that there are a lot of business owners that complain about where they are in their business, but you're absolutely right. They will not invest because they just, for some reason, I believe it's a part of the scarcity mentality. I believe it's also a part of the mentality that they feel like if they invest in someone else, then they're helping that person. So I guess all of that still comes from the lack of having an abundance mindset. So what would you say to them? I mean, other than get a coach, because everybody's telling you to get a coach. What are some of the things that you say to people that are considering bringing you on board? What are some of the things that you say to get them to
One,
see?
yeah, one of the questions I ask is, what are you selling? How much are you selling for? And how much have you ever invested in yourself? What's the most you've ever invested in yourself and your business? I mean, there are entrepreneurs and they still operating on a DBA because it costs $600 to set up an LLC. Come on. So I try to help them to understand if they want to get to the next level, they have to invest in them, not just a coach, but you've got to invest in showing up to the networking events. You got to invest in upgrading your product and your service. Um, and then I see a lot of people, they invest in the product and the service, but they don't invest in their head. And the product and the service is sitting on the shelf. The best investment you can make in yourself is get your head right. And the only way I've been able to do that is to hire coaches who have walked the walk ahead of me. And
And look,
so I
when you say, one second, when you say get your head right, quantify. Tell me what that means, because I think I know what you mean, but I want other people to hear it, because sometimes we hear things in, like the get your head right, but no one really knows what get your head right really means. Can you expound on that?
It's about developing a mindset of where you are and where you want to go. It's
Mm,
about getting drastic, getting that no matter what mindset. I had a lady call me the other day. She wants to come to my event, and she's like, and she has some scriptural playing cards. And I said, well, why did you start that business? Well, the world has so much negativity. I believe that they really need to I need to get these in the households to encourage people because it's hard out here. I agree with that. So she says, but then I'll take a step forward and then I get scared and I stop. And I said, ma'am, if you truly believe that your product is going to change one family, how is that working when the cards are sitting at your house? So we got to take ourselves, the mindset is take yourself out of the equation. If you truly believe what you have to offer is going to change somebody's life, their world, and you can make life and business easier for them, then you're not serving them by being playing small, as Marion Williams. You're not serving them. It's not about you. If you
wow.
truly believe what you have can change their life or their business, and you're sitting on it, then is that fair? So it's a mindset because you really don't believe it. Otherwise, if you did, you'd be out here hustling like me and Thea, getting it into people's hands,
Yeah.
right? Because
Right.
either you don't believe that what you have is going to change your life, or no one's talked to you like I'm talking to you now. It's not about you. Get over yourself and get it out to the world because the world needs it and you have to start.
Wow. Ooh. I love doing these interviews because most of the time I'm interviewing, but I'm taking it in for myself, because there are a lot of things as an entrepreneur, that you may, and you touched on this because you're a coach, but you constantly hire coaches to take you to the next level, because you do know we're ever learning, things are ever changing, there are new opportunities all the time, and if you don't invest in learning to take that pivot, then that's just another tool you don't have in your toolbox. I mean, and that's what I'm hearing you're constantly adding tools to your toolbox.
I mean, look at LeBron, Tiger, Serena. They have coaches. Why? Because when Tiger is making a swing, if his leg is off this much, it can affect his swing. The coach
Right.
is standing up the side and saying, your leg is off this much. Do this. Tweak here. And when
Right.
he tweaks it, he kills it. That's what a coach will do for you. Is you have blinders on because you are in your business, you are grinding, you are only seeing what's in front of you. Your coach can see, and that's why I constantly hire coaches. And it's almost Dorothy syndrome. You know how Glinda told Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz to click her heels 3 times and she'll be home? Glinda said you had it in you all along, but Glinda was the coach. Dorothy
Right.
couldn't see that all she had to do was click her heels 3 times. And Dorothy had to go through everything Dorothy went through in order to appreciate it was this simple all along.
My. And that's the truth. I'm listening to a couple of teachings on YouTube, and one of them was talking about how, um God, the source, the ultimate source, God, how he will allow us to hit these walls, hit these places of impact, hit these places where we can't get through them, not because he wants to hurt us, but because he wants us to get to the point where we recognize what we're doing is not working. And so some of us are
And
quicker.
to grow our appreciation.
Oh,
It
yes.
would be so easy, we would not appreciate what we've gone through. So I'm going to tell you a secret. Last year, not this time, but like in June, July last year, I was looking for a job. And I was looking for a job not because I wasn't making money. I was making money, but I couldn't, as a sales and marketing coach, I couldn't see how I was going to retire. And I'm at that age where it's either get a retirement plan or, you know, you need to figure out something else. So I was looking for a job. And I was devastated. I'm like, I don't want no job. I don't need no job. I can't do no job. I don't want no snotty nosed kid telling me what to do. But I was like, I don't see another way. And I was praying, but I had hit that wall. We all do. The
We
most
all,
successful people still hit a wall. Every time you're trying to transition to that next level, the wall is there. So don't think because you invest in coaching, you're still not going to hit a wall. Yes, you're going to hit a wall. Don't think because you're grinding, you're not going to hit a wall. Yes, you are. You're right at, and I don't want to sound cliche, but you really are right at your breakthrough.
yeah.
And you have to come up against the wall to get the breakthrough.
Woo!
You have to. You have to hit the wall. You have to. It's just the way it's designed. And God wants to know that we're relying on Him to help us to break through. And I normally, I keep my religion a little separate from my business. But when you have a higher power, when you hit that wall, you have to recognize it and you have to ask for help. And that's how NIA came into my life. I was praying, I was at the wall, and I was praying hard. What is my next step? My coach asked me, she said, Toni, what's your why? And I told her, and she's like, you've already accomplished that. Perhaps you're here because you don't have a why that inspires you.
Oh,
She said, I need you to pretend you don't have a business, break down your why and start over. I said, okay. So I did that. I went and I was writing and I was praying. I'm not a journaler or none of that stuff. So I just don't do that. I don't do affirmations. I believe that it helps some people, but for me, I'm just a push ahead kind of girl. So anyway, I came back to her. I said, here's my new why. My why is to touch, move, and inspire my clients to take drastic steps to be better than they were before they met me. I'm a resource, I'm a connector. I want to help people build deeper relationships that are beneficial to their life and business. Now, I got to pause here and tell you I had interviewed for 2 jobs that I was a shoe-in for at this point. She said, Toni, that's a perfect why for you. Are you doing that? Yes. Are you getting paid to do it? I said, yeah, when I speak, when I coach, I get paid to touch, move, and inspire people. What about the connecting people? She said. I said, no, I connect people because I love them. I want to see them do well. She said, what would you need to do to connect people and get paid? I said, I need to start my own networking group. She said, why don't you? I said, oh no. Oh no, I cannot do that. I've seen too many people run networking groups and make no money. I don't have time, money, energy, or technology. No way. She said, Toni, watch this, y'all. Whoever taking notes, write this down. Don't worry about the how, it will show up. I said, girl, please, and hung up the phone and was done with that conversation. I was not starting a networking group. 3 months later, here we go with the show up. 3 months earlier, I'm sorry, right at the point where I'm trying to figure out, am I going to get a job or what am I doing? I go to a women's retreat. I paid for it on the last day before the retreat. The retreat was in Fort Worth. It was 12 women there. I get there and this woman says, "Oh my God, you should be a franchise owner for NIA." I said, "I've heard of NIA, but what is that?" She said, "It's a franchise to connect people." I said, "Well, I'm in BNI. And franchise sound like a lot of money. I'm at this crossroad, right?" She says, "Yeah, it's money, but I'm just going to introduce you to the founder who's here in Houston." I said, "Okay." Now I teach schedule a date. Remember, I told you that earlier. I teach
Wow.
schedule a date. I did not schedule a date with this lady. Watch this, Thea. You're gonna be blown away. I did not schedule. Why did not schedule a date with her? Anyway, she promised she was gonna connect me to the founder of NIA. That woman never called me until 1 week, 3 months later, 1 week after the conversation with the coach. "Toni, I haven't forgotten about you. I still think you should set up a networking group with NIA." I was like, "I just said I couldn't do that. And how much was it again?" She told me. I said, "Look, I don't have that kind of money." She said, "I'm just going to make the introduction. He'll work it out." I said, "Okay." Met him, instant connection, brother from another mother. He said, "How much can you come up with?" I told him a number. He said, "We can do that." And I launched NIA, my dream business that is saleable for retirement. And the two jobs that I was a shoe in for vanished, vanished, vanished. One of them, I did go on the interview and I said something I'm friends with the hiring vice president. After the interview, she called me and said, "Why did you say that?" I said, "I don't know." I cannot tell you why I said that. She said, "I can't give you the job because you said that." I said, "I understand. I don't know." Little did I know, knew NIA was in my backyard. I did not want a job. And that's why I said what I said. I really didn't want a job. But, and it all started because I showed up at an event, registered on the last day, 5 hours away, and I met somebody who changed my life. And now I get to change other people's lives.
Wow. I'm almost in tears over here. I promise you, this was, it's crazy because I've been thinking about bringing you on to interview you since I started. I
I
mean,
apologize. Somebody's at the door. Let me get the door real quick.
oh, that's
I
okay.
apologize. That's my son.
That's
Don't have
okay.
my camera on the interview.
I have a
Live
daughter too.
baby.
Look, I have a
Live
daughter too. She's called me twice since we've been on this interview, and I had to send her to the voicemail twice. I understand about the kids, but I was literally in the mind to bring you on to interview you. I've been thinking about that since I've been doing interviews. I mean, even when I was at KCOH, just everything that I've been doing. But today was the day that I was supposed to interview you because there, a lot of times we're looking to help other people, but God knows that there's something that needs to be said for you. Yeah. So I just want to tell you, you've said some things that have really blessed me in this conversation, and I'm pretty sure it's blessed some other people. I can't believe how quickly this hour has gone. Like, oh my gosh. We have sped through this thing, but when it's an amazing conversation that happens, So I want to go ahead and give you the opportunity now to talk about the things that you have upcoming. I know that you mentioned the Unstoppable Drastic Action Conference, October 23rd through the 24th. How can people find out about that? Is there a website for it?
Yeah, and it's in my lower third there, unstoppabledrasticaction.com.
Okay.
Go there. And it is for, and I'm going to tell you who the target audience is. It's for service-based entrepreneurs. If you sell a product, you can still come, but I'm really looking for speakers, coaches, authors, trainers, real estate agents, people who need to stand out in a very crowded market. It's for people who want to magnetically attract their ideal clients and grow their network internationally. So you're going to learn sales and marketing strategies. You're going to learn relationship building strategies. All the things that I talked about, we're going to put those in action. Plus, there'll be speed networking with all of our attendees from across the world. I have my first registration came from Canada, and then I also have people from Africa coming. So if you're looking to grow bigger than the four walls of where you are, you got to show up to opportunities to meet and network with people. And we've made it so affordable. It is 197 for VIP, 147 for general admission. And that remember that whole conversation I gave you around free and that mentality. But I am going to give you a discount because I'm your Thea's friend. So you can use Toni as a promo code and take $50 off of the
Oh,
you can do if you sign up for VIP, we only have 50 spots and a lot of them are gone, but we have a few spots left, but you can bring a friend if you're VIP for $60. So Thea, you and Michelle can come.
okay. Hold on. I'm trying to get all that out there. Okay. Bring a friend. Okay. There you go. I just want to put that in the notes. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Perfect timing. October 23rd and 20. My birthday is October 21st. So that
Right.
may be a really good, yeah, that may be
No,
a really good gift for me.
absolutely.
Shout out to those who are giving gifts. That's a good gift for me. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it. Take up a collection. Let's do it.
Come on,
But
let's do it.
imagine from
No,
it, like my energy, imagine me times two, because Tish is the same. She's that,
right.
and us together just makes sense. And the other thing is that we want to make sure we get to know who you are and what you're looking for, because we are scouters. We are I'm going to be saying, Thea, you need to meet this person. Make sure y'all exchange information, send each other. That's what I do. It is not just a conference where you come and you listen and take notes that you put on the shelf. This is an action, unstoppable, drastic action conference. So I hope y'all come.
Absolutely, guys, and I certainly appreciate that. Don't forget, use that code Tony for $50 off. Bring a friend for 60. I mean, y'all can split that cost instead of you both paying the full price ticket. So that's amazing. In closing, is there anything else that you'd like to leave? I mean, because you didn't drop, Lord, you didn't drop so many.
Yes, I'm
This
always
was
going
a
to leave
clinic, like you
thought.
did, like this was literally a clinic, and I, it was free. I mean, people are watching this for no cost, but I understand your point too, because sometimes when people can get it for no cost, they don't really see the value. But for those of you who have an eye that can see and ears that can hear, I hope you picked up something out of this, because it's changing my life just as I'm listening here. So I really appreciate that. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to leave us with? I mean, we're ready.
I
If
would.
we can take it.
You got a lot of good nuggets here in this 1 hour conversation. They're nothing but words on a paper or words in the telephone if you don't take action. You got to get drastic. You got to get out of your comfort zone. Yes, you have to show up. Yes, you have to be up. Yes, you have to follow up. And yes, you have to invest in yourself. And when you do those things, I promise your business will grow and change, and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. But it starts with the show up. So, my name's Toni Harris Taylor saying, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. Thank you, Thea.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us on the Collaborative UTV special BYG segment. We're in the middle of our Birthing Your Greatness Summit, and this was perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. And thank everyone for joining us on the Collaborative UTV, where we educate, empower, and inspire. We look forward to speaking with you next week, Monday. Collaborative UTV. Thank you. We're out. Peace.